just to remind you or to talk about it. So I'm going to be flying out to Colorado this coming Sunday. So that's the 19th.
Okay.
And I will be flying back the 26th.
All right.
Um,
So
so
no band date the next couple weekends.
yeah, definitely not next weekend. And then the 26th, I don't know when our plane gets back. I might mandate with you on the 26th. It just depends on when we get back and how I'm feeling. I'll let you know then, unless you would prefer just to plan not to, which is also
What
fine.
was play it by ear on that one?
Yeah. And then next Tuesday, no recording. I'll edit a Franken episode for
Yeah,
together for next
that would
week.
be the 21st.
Yep. But then as long as you're not doing anything, like as everything's cool,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back to record on the 28th for Game
Which
Club.
will be Game Club. Yeah, that sounds good. I imagine. Well, this is going to be a really easy Game Club to talk about too.
Yeah.
And I have thoughts. Right.
I have thoughts. I have I think based on your foreshadowing and some conversations we've already had. I think my thoughts are better than your thoughts.
Well, I think the part of it is just I've run into so much broken shit because I'm further along than you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already level. I think I'm in the 50s or 60s again.
Yeah. After the first prestige or whatever.
Uh huh. And
Yeah.
it's just the fact that there's so much broken on like the festival playlist. Like this is the third week in a row in the second season that they've had at least one completely broken thing. That's why they had the Forzathon points given out last week. Was that there was just the arcade was completely broken, and because of that, you weren't able to do the previous weeks. And, right.
Yeah.
And now they have it where the treasure hunt is broken. And it was supposed to be 3-star a trailblazer to get the hint to be able to, or 3-star trailblazer in a particular car, which is shown on the icon, to get the hint to go find the treasure chest. Which basically it's how like the barn finds go. They give you an area and you just slowly scroll around it until you eventually hit the treasure chest.
Right.
Well, anybody that's 3-starred all the trailblazers, it doesn't trigger for, because it doesn't trigger that you got a new 3-star because of, right?
Yeah.
And then it's also bugged so that there's only a chance that it goes off if you complete a 3-star. So I only had 2 trailblazers remaining, and that wasn't 3-starred. I went and did those, and it still didn't trigger for me. Right?
Yeah. I hadn't even, because I haven't done, but maybe like 2 trailblazers. I haven't had that trigger. I didn't know it was busted.
Or it's busted for people that have done a fair amount of the game. And that's the thing, is that last season they had it where the expedition, you had to do an expedition. Well, if you already did them all, which the game pretty much forces you to do so, you can't complete it.
Yeah.
And they're just now fixing the traffic where the civilian trafficker is actually showing up in multiplayer. For the last, however long, it's just the map has felt so deserted because the online connectivity has been busted. And because of that, the civilian traffic won't show up because it keeps trying to load up the drivatars, and then it starts loading up players again, and then you get stuck in that empty instance. So you're on a completely blank map, and it's just... Ugh.
I've had that happen numerous times. And then we keep having the thing where that it will drop, like where one of us will be invisible to the other, or both of us invisible to each other.
Yeah, which kind of defeats the purpose of a convoy.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the overworld map, not events. There was just... it feels like they didn't learn a lot of lessons from Horizon 4. and and I know we're in heavy game club talk now, but things are gonna change before Christmas.
Yeah.
It also feels a little bit more culturally insensitive to be ripping apart Mexico compared to England. You know.
Yes, definitely it does.
Also, the fact that they went with more cultural heritage sites and the voice acting is kind of, you know, this character's Mexican because every sentence they throw in a random Spanish word,
Yeah.
right?
That feels very strange to me, the way that they did it. Now, I have known people who speak Spanish, as their primary language, or have spent enough time speaking Spanish that it's, they're fluent in both, that will occasionally insert one word
Yeah, but not
over
every
another.
damn sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It just feels forced.
So, thank you for Game Club.
Right? Thanks.
We could tack that onto the Game Club episode as like early thoughts, right?
Yeah. I did play a little bit while I was eating my bacon.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Super 7 for the week. Boy howdy. Is the Super 7 like 6 really shitty events and one good one?
Well, that's pretty much the event lab in general. Uh, I'm sure that there's a site somewhere, or maybe a subreddit. I know the Forts at the subreddit occasionally has people post their events.
Yeah.
One of the trending today I tried, it was like a dirt marathon, and it kind of sucked. It had a lot of interesting ideas, but the idea of a dirt track with very very tight corridors is just no. You know,
Yeah.
basically a good third of this absolutely like massive half-hour race was the track just constantly doubling back on itself. I was in the land shark, all right, which is for if this is Fraken content. The land shark is my S1 class off-road buggy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that could do something like 200 miles an hour, because of course, right?
Yeah.
Uh, there was a good portion of this race that I was just in first or second gear, accelerate for a second, then slam on the brakes and do a hard like 90 plus degree turn, and it just got tedious. And when it wasn't that, there was long sections of the course that was just very very narrow gates and a lot of props alongside the road.
Yeah. I've gotten several in my Super 7 this week. I got like 4 that were 25 seconds long max, just like drive to the end of the thing in a straight line.
Yeah.
It's like,
Now
well, that's not
now
fun.
there is one that popped up that was kind of. Have you ever heard of the type of Mario custom level that's called an auto completer?
Yeah.
I hit one that was kind of like that. It said put it in a specific gear and hold down the accelerator, and it was at the airport, and you had to do a little bit of steering on this giant loop-de-loop that he did. But then there was a section of almost lily pads going up and down, where you just kind of skirt across them, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was also this is show you your talents, but it shouldn't be in the Super 7, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the Super 7 should be serious challenges. Like the cream of the crop of the event lab.
Yeah, like they should be curated by somebody or some group. But I think they're just random
Mm-hmm.
challenges that are thrown at you. And it,
Yeah,
it
and
never fails. There's like 2 in every Super 7 that I do. There's like 2 that are just drive as fast as you can down the interstate in the middle of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Two that are, drive less than a mile in a straight line. Two that are like, do this danger sign jump. And then like one that's like, here's an actual, you know, course that I have been created that is like a theme or that is challenging or, something like that.
Yeah, there was one I hit that was drive. It kind of catfished you on what the actual objective was because it said leisurely drive down the beach, but then it was like 2 minutes. So in order to do it, you actually had to like cut across the desert and do a bunch of jumps across the desert to haul ass.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually interesting. Aha, got you. Not sure if it really fits Super 7, but better than most of the shit I've hit.
Probably the favorite one that I got was from a couple of weeks ago that was in, it was get to this point as fast as you can, and it was an off-road sort of trailblazery type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow the trail that it had sort of predetermined for you, you could get there, but it would have been challenging. But if you pull up the map and you look and you see where you are and where you're going, there's like a second route that is much faster and more forgiving. And it kind of rewards like, oh, let me pause and take a look around my surroundings and see what I can do. It rewards that. That was neat. That's probably the best one I've gotten so far.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, you ready?
Yeah. I got Audacity up and ready to go.
Okie dokie. Ready to record in 3, 2, 1. Record. And for the sync, 3,
2,
1.
sync.
Sync.
Oh,
I
I
was
jumped the
late.
gun.
Nah,
Oh,
I was late. That was me.
it was you.
It was me. Oh boy.
Yeah, we completely skipped the socials, but right.
That's all right. Find us on the things. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Get to the chopper now. Wah.
Wow.
Wah.
I've been playing too much Warrior. Wow.
Oh,
Hey,
that's a big one.
Hey,
No.
here's something that Halo Infinite wins Game Informer Game of the Year. It's been out for a week.
Good for them. I
Been out
downloaded
for a
Halo
week
Infinite.
and has had nothing but criticism about it. Give it Game of the Year.
Yeah. I downloaded Halo Infinite the other day. I haven't played it yet. Probably won't till after Christmas at this rate, actually. Been playing a shitload of just other stuff. Disco Elysium, Forza Horizon 5, Railroads Online, Dyson Sphere. Like, I've been playing a lot of all of those.
Yeah, I'll have to try to get into some Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
Also want to play some some Evil Genius because
Yep.
that's on Game Pass now. Game Pass announced their upcoming games and some real crackers there too.
Yep.
As I slowly start dying.
Oh. Oh.
And now I'm just really trying to find the list because I know Firewatch is on there. That could be an interesting Game Pass game. Or a game club game, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And just suddenly got the coughs. Mortal Kombat 11.
What is this?
Okay, so
This is
Lake, Firewatch, Broken Age, Ben 10 Power Trip. There you go. Mortal Kombat 11, The Gunk, Race with Ryan, Paw Patrol, Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. Right? A little, King's a little old for that one, huh?
he still likes Paw Patrol. We went and saw the Paw Patrol movie that came out during the summer. Like, but he's way beyond, watching Paw Patrol on a regular basis.
Well, this is a video game, so
What'd you say
It's
it
like
was? Paw Patrol what?
Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. So it's basically Paw Patrol, only they're superheroes.
Well, I mean, honestly, they're basically superheroes anyways.
It's on Steam
Yeah, I see it. $40.
or Game Pass in like a day or two.
Yeah, we might check it out on Game Pass.
It
Jen
comes
might
out
like playing it.
Thursday.
Might take a couple of controllers to Colorado and kick back and
And
actually, I should definitely
Transformers
do that.
Battlegrounds is the last one, which is their strategy game? Question mark? Hashtag?
Transformers Battlegrounds. Oh yeah, turn-based strategy. Oh shit. XCOM
Oh,
Transformers. I'm in. I love it. I haven't played it yet. I haven't seen it until just this moment, but I love it. I'm in.
I mean, right?
Yeah. You can take almost anything and turn it into a turn-based strategy game for me, and I'll be in on it.
And another case of a shit ton of DLC on it. Not nearly as bad as that one RPG, but looks like mostly cosmetics, though. That reminds me, I need to go back and play Mario Plus Rabbids. I've had it for ages, just I played a bit of it and then kind of fell off of it.
Yeah.
Also played a little bit of Breath of the Wild recently. Beat another one of the main dungeons. I'll eventually beat it and then come back and talk about it. I think it's been interesting. It has a very different design to its primary four dungeons than most of the other Zeldas have, where they're more compact, but you manipulate them in different ways. Like, do you know anything about the Breath of the Wild story?
A little bit. Bits and pieces I've absorbed. But not a ton.
There's 5 primary dungeons, not counting all the like 100 or 200 shrines.
Right.
And they're the 4 divine beasts, which are like the super weapons in this world that got corrupted because, of course, they got corrupted because it's a Zelda game, right?
Yeah.
And each one has a different mechanic. So this giant camel thing in the desert, its entire mechanic is that the primary body of it is in 3 sections and can be rotated around sections of like almost a Rubik cube to spin the essentially the rings of the barrel.
Yeah.
And putting it in different configurations causes the it to power different parts of the area that causes different effects to go on. The eagle is the other one I'm beaten so far. And once you gain control of it, which you do so on all these, or at least both of these, pretty quickly, and you're able to manipulate them at will, which is a little bit different from how other Zeldas handle dungeon manipulation. Sort of like how, the most infamous one is the Water Temple, where you have to go to a certain point to be able to change how the dungeon's laid out or change a section of it.
Yeah.
This, you just do it from the map screen at any time. The eagle is flying because that's what eagles do. But you're able to cause it to bank to the left or the right, which causes different physics objects to move and like in the primary chamber of the dungeon, different sections of platforms to slide.
Yeah.
And I imagine the other 2 have their own mechanics as well, because right. But they're also a lot more compact than other dungeons that I've encountered in Zelda games. So, but it's kind of with the narrative of kind of free roam, go do whatever the hell you want. But it's also kind of been a negative impact on me as well, because I kind of missed a trigger for one of the divine beasts. So it didn't pop up until I actually backtracked through the desert. Whoops.
Interesting. I mean, I like that freedom though. That freedom in a game that lets you miss stuff or
Yeah,
get
well,
stuff
the thing is that, well, they went very Ubisoft with covering the map because they have a bunch of towers that you scale, and each of them are like their own mini puzzle.
Yeah.
There's like the first one that you do is pretty straightforward. But then, there's like some sort of twist on them every time. Like one of them is in the middle of this bog and you have to figure out how to get to it. And depending on what powers you've unlocked, it can be either really simple or really complex. Then there's others that have like spikes all over it. And if you don't have enough stamina, you have to, try to figure out a way to deal with it. Or even if you do have enough stamina, you have to approach it a certain way.
Yeah.
And near the desert is one of these towers that I got to and unlocked the area. And I saw, ooh, there's a town in the desert. I'll go check that out. And I, flew down to that because I had, you have the paraglider because, it's Breath of the Wild's big thing that honestly noticed in the Game Awards that a lot of more games are doing that now. The handheld glider like Breath of the Wild and Genshin Impact does.
Yeah. Which is a neat thing, but
But starting to, already feel a little old, huh?
Yeah.
So I flew down to it, but the way you're supposed to approach the town is via the road. And I completely missed this little outpost that had a trigger in it for the area.
Yeah.
So I didn't trigger something that was supposed to happen. And because I didn't go through that area, I also didn't unlock what I needed to actually access the town because you had to disguise yourself. But because I didn't get the disguise, I couldn't go in and had no idea where to go for it. Which is why I originally put down the game in the first place until recently when I picked it back up and like, oh, I missed that. I actually looked it up a little bit and saw, I'm supposed to go, I'm supposed to backtrack on the road that I didn't go in the first place. That makes a lot more sense.
Right. Oh.
But then there's people that just speed run the game and go directly to Ganon at 3 hearts. And those people are crazy.
Right. I mean, good for them, but yeah.
I respect speedrunners, but I also think they're a little crazy. I think you
you
kind of
have
have to be. Yeah. I was just saying that. You kind of have to be to, spend months and years of your life to, be able to beat Super Mario Brothers in 5 minutes.
Perfecting your craft in that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 2 microseconds of a degree,
Yeah.
What is it? Like the NES's 1/60th of a second?
Yeah.
And then we're talking subpixels, so even beyond what the game can register as positioning. I mean, it's just a crazy amount of stuff going on. I respect the hell out of them for it. I don't discourage them, but also do think they're crazy.
Yeah.
But do love watching them too.
Not as much for me. Sometimes.
I like watching them when there's commentary on what's going on. If there's no commentary and it's just watching Mario slide on his ass up a stairwell without any context of what the hell's going on, But if they're like how games done quick, breaks down what's going on and shows off the different mechanics, that's when it's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Probably the most amazing / crazy one though is all the blindfolded speedruns. Because, whew, right?
People learning entirely off of sound or off of cues or just like memorization. Yeah.
Yeah, rote memorization and sound cues. Mike Tyson's Punch Out is one. There's Legend of Zelda is another one, which is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
But you know what else is mind-boggling to me?
The fact that we're still talking.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. All right, Craig. Don't know what your little hiccup was in the middle, but that's okay. Gonna have 2 halves or whatever, just in case I gotta splice it together. Now recording. I am a disembodied robot voice.
Now shutting down. I've had enough of this shit. So is Craig gonna sue everybody who is named Craig?
Ooh, probably. Thankfully, I'm not named Craig
Or Georg?
or Geark. Yeah, I'm safe on both of those fronts. But if he indiscriminately kills all humans, well, then I'm boned. Well, my presentation is often a bit alien. I assure you, I am human.
I didn't realize that Craig was Omicron. Oh, I saw the stupidest thing on Facebook.
Go on.
That someone was talking in. It was one of the COVID news articles that the local news has put out. They're proof that the pandemic was all planned, and they're not going to stop until everybody is microchipped. The list of planned variant names. It's like saying that the government is going to put out 20 hurricanes a year because they plan out the names for them in advance. Right? Oh, it's just...
I have to know, what were some of the names?
No, it's just the Latin alphabet.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be more exciting.
It's literally that.
It's literally the thing?
Yeah, it's literally the thing. Back when the CDC or the World Health Organization listed off saying that from now on they'll be naming the variants after the Latin alphabet, alpha, beta, gamma, delta.
Yeah.
Well, when the Delta variant started making its rounds, this is why I saw it saying, well, they're just going to keep going. They already have it planned out that they're just going to keep releasing variants. See, they released the list early. And it's just, I hope that they're trolling, but they also...
They're not. They're definitely not trolling.
Yeah. They had one of the, I don't care about your vaccine things on their profile, and yeah. What do they want the Hurricane Award at this point?
That person or organization might be trolling, but that they're being believed, they're being taken seriously. It's very sad.
It's just kind of there's all sorts of craziness that's come out in the last couple of years since the pandemic has really forced them out. Giving them way too much time and too much things to be crazy about.
Yeah, shaking my head. Obviously, you can't see that, but
thankfully, yeah, I haven't hacked your cameras. I don't need to see that.
You haven't pushed the hacking button yet.
Well, that's because I can't get the goddamn reticule to calm down.
I'm trying to think if I should. Yeah, I should. Okay, so Sarah's story.
Uh-oh.
So today, I don't know why.
Crazy.
I don't know why this just popped into my head. It was you talking about variants and stuff. That's why. Mm-hmm. We were all, sitting when we were eating lunch today, talking about just a couple of things, like, jobs they've had before and places they worked before. And Sarah goes, yeah, one of the first jobs that I had after I finished my... after I got done working at a hospital, was I worked for a chiropractor. And I was like, why am I not surprised? Like, I said that out loud. Why am I not surprised? She was like, what? And I was like, let me guess. You were at like a whole, I did air quotes, a whole health or full body medicine chiropractor. And he was trying to scam people out of money by performing pointless procedures on them that were dangerous, where you weren't trained, and the things weren't actual medicine. And she stared at me for a moment. She said, like, just like 5 to 10 seconds of silence while she stared at me.
Processing
Processing what I had just said. And then she goes, "Well, I will say we didn't get the best training while we were there." And I just kind of like scratched my head like, "Go on." She's like, "How'd you know it was a clinic that was like a whole health clinic and we were giving people essential oils
God.
and if somebody came in and they had joint pain, he'd have us do an injection in their joint." Like,
Oh,
what did you inject? Also, I've never heard of that. And she's like, "Oh yeah, we had all kinds of stuff we'd inject into them that would make their joints feel better. I even used to inject people in their necks." I'm like, "Oh hell
what the
no."
what the
If I
fuck?
ever went somewhere and they wanted to inject something in my neck and it wasn't like a hospital doing like a life-saving procedure on me, I would leave immediately.
Yeah, but
She's like,
wanna bet that she wants to know all the ingredients of the vaccine.
"You would be correct, sir."
But jamming somebody in the neck with mystery essential oil, right?
Mystery liquid, yeah. She was like, "And I never did get no proper training on how to do those injections, right?" I'm like, "Wait, wait,
Wow.
wait. You were injecting people in their necks near their spinal column with fluids that you didn't know what they were without being trained." And she's like, "Well, I got a little bit of training." I said, "How much is a little bit?" And she's like, "Well, I don't remember their names. I'm just going to say Dr. Bob." She's like, "Well,
I think a
would lay
Kevorkian.
Dr. Bob would lay on the table and he would point to his neck and tell me where to do the injection, and then I would practice on him." Then Dr. Bob was the chiropractor. And I was like, "So this your boss laid on a table and had you inject drugs into his neck as your training?" She's like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "I rest my case, Sarah. I rest my case." She was like, "What are you talking about? You weren't building a case." And I was like, mm, "I don't feel like I had to be like trying to build one to have just built one."
I mean, ooh,
I've worked at a couple of sketchy jobs in my past
yeah, but she takes
because,
the cake.
but
She
that's
takes
a
the
whole
entire
other
damn
level.
bakery.
Yeah. And she said, "I was there for 6 months before I left because he was trying to not pay us." And I was like, "You were surprised that he was trying to scam you out of your money when he was scamming all of his patients and performing, let's be real here, medical procedures that he wasn't licensed or qualified to perform?" She's like, "Well, we were the ones who were performing them." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, but also no. He's your supervisor. It would have been everybody's ass." Thankfully, she doesn't give injections anymore of any kind, but she does prescribe
Unfortunately,
meds for crazy people.
unfortunately, she doesn't get injections either.
Yeah, Tennessee has been, because of course they has been fighting over the vaccine mandate, and so a couple of times we've gotten notice from the company that you have to get vaccinated and you have to prove that you've been vaccinated, and then we'll get one that says like, "Actually, you don't have to because such and such case is tied up in this court, and just be prepared to present evidence that you were vaccinated." And Sarah's like, "Yep, I don't need this job." So, if they come down and they say we have to get vaccinated and I can't get a religious exemption, well, then I guess I'll just pack it up and go home. And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, please do.
Please,
Please do."
right?
But I don't say anything. I have heard, because, you got to make friends with the right people in your company or whatever. And so I've got a couple people who work in HR that I talk to and am nice to, and they'll tell me stuff. And apparently, there have been a lot of people who've been trying to get religious exemptions as with like bullshit stuff, and they're all being rejected. So I get a feeling we're gonna see if she actually will put her money where her mouth is, and will actually quote unquote pack it up and go home.
Uh, her poor husband having her home all the time. Ooh.
Yeah, I think that they would get a divorce. I think the only reason they're not divorced now is because they both work and don't spend a lot of time together. Because you
He's
listen to
probably
her,
fucking somebody at work.
God, for his sake, I hope so, because he's definitely not fucking anybody at home. Listening to her talk about their relationship and their sex life, because of course she, and that doesn't actually bother me. I don't care if people want to talk about their sex lives, but she's like, yeah, she's like, we don't, no, we don't do that. I'm like,
We
you
already
had to have had,
procreated. We already procreated. We don't have to do it anymore.
yeah, actually, you're right. You got it. You nailed it in one. Good job. Have you talked to her? You've been talking to her behind my back.
No, because I haven't slit open my wrists to accept the sweet release of death, rather than be in
Right.
her presence for another second.
Right.
Not that I'm being melodramatic or anything, but I do think death would be a good substitute of her company.
And of course, she's such a hypocrite. The biggest hypocrite on
Oh,
so many
really?
things.
Really,
Yeah.
ultra religious person, hypocrite? Oh, do tell me more.
Oh yes.
I
Oh yeah.
like injecting mystery fluid into people, and then need to know all the ingredients of the vaccine and how they'd work. Oh, I bet she takes ibuprofen as well,
Absolutely, she does.
and
And
all the other the drugs that have been tied to the stem cell embryonic stem cell line that the vaccine is from. But it's the vaccine that's bad, not the dozen other, or sorry, more like 2 or 3 dozen other major medications, over the counter medications that we have on a day-to-day basis.
well, see, here's her well thought out, ironclad defense.
Well, I didn't know
Well,
about that.
no. Well, yeah, but it's different. That's
How?
it. That's her defense. I
Oh,
don't
let
know.
me
It's
guess.
different.
Jesus told her.
It's just different. It just is. That's her response. It's just different. Not the same. She's also hypocritical about other stuff, though. Super judgmental about people doing things like drinking and smoking and doing drugs. And guess what? She drinks and she smokes and she does drugs. But it's bad for other people.
Hey, I drink this coffee, so I don't want to kill her.
I'm not a narc, but I could report her to the state again, but this time about her doing drugs. That might actually do something because Tennessee. But I'm not a narc. I don't want to narc on her. Even her, I don't want to do that.
Although it is tempting.
It is tempting. I just try to keep her away from outpatient people and have her keep her steered towards the group home clients. Cuz I mean, bless their hearts. They're all pretty severely mentally impaired, like and
her.
I'll give her this. I'll get touche. I'll give her this though. For whatever it's worth, she's pretty good at her job with those people. Like the people that she I don't know. It's like, oh, they can't help it. They can't help it. They need me to take care of them. Like I think, like most things, I think it's like this weird power dynamic thing. She does really well with them, and she's kind to them, and is decent, maybe even good at her job of appropriately managing their medications. But outpatient people, she's like horrible, especially if they're gay or otherwise on, the gender spectrum, as opposed to
I had a
the
thought.
gender dichotomy.
I just had a thought, and how about we take her, kidnap her,
Yep.
kidnap Jim, Stephanie Sterling, and lock them in a room together.
Well, but I don't want to punish Steph. They didn't do anything wrong.
I'm pretty sure they would kill her pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it would be so hilarious.
That would be interesting to see, because Steph is very large. Like, I think over 6 feet tall.
And also, they're in their Stardust outfit.
That's, oh my God.
Or maybe
Might
Or
just keel over on the spot. What is wrong with these people?
actually, don't think we would have to kidnap. Just book.
Oh,
Take her
book.
to one of their wrestling matches.
Yeah,
That would be
sounds like
enough.
sounds like a good time to me.
Oh,
Sweet. There's a little
because
Franken con. Oh,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I was just saying, Jim Stephanie Sterling is pretty much everything that she hates.
Yes, yes, indeed. I don't. And on a on kind of a serious note, I don't know where the line is where I'm like, okay, I can forgive or understand some of the behavior. Like not specifically for Sarah, but like at this point, I don't I don't know how I could forgive or understand like even ignorance of these types of issues. Maybe if you're like a 9-year-old person who doesn't know what the internet is. It's like I've never used the internet and I'm not starting now. Like maybe I could forgive that person's ignorance, but man, everybody is so connected through social media and um you know TV and like all kinds of like I don't see how you could be ignorant of those issues anymore. And if you are ignorant, it's almost certainly willful, and I don't condone willful ignorance.
It's
Like you have
just
no excuse.
all right.
Like I don't expect someone to have like a full like gender studies level of
Mm-hmm.
education and understanding on an issue, but just like, hey, trans people exist and they're people, so like be cool to them and with them.
Yeah, but she's more. Yeah, but this is different.
This is different, quote unquote. It's not natural. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that
Well, you know what?
from
So is lead.
yeah, or like it's unnatural. I'm like, well, actually, are you aware that many Native American cultures and perhaps other cultures around the world that we don't know as much about or haven't discovered yet, had the existence of a third gender or a non-gendered person as a part of their tribe? Look at all these cool things from history. Did you
Well, it's
know that
not. Well,
sometimes
well, they
animals?
also didn't. They also didn't believe in Jesus, so that doesn't count.
And I'm like, did you know that in nature sometimes animals engage in homosexual behavior? Did you know that? Did you know that certain species of creatures can change their gender and sex characteristics?
Yeah, Finding Nemo would have been very different if it was anatomically correct.
Yeah. Like all of these things are natural. Also, arsenic is natural and that's not good for you.
Yeah, but that's different.
Lava, pools of lava are natural, but you wouldn't jump in one of those because it's not good for you.
Well, what if Jesus told her to? You don't know.
Uh, I'd give her a push. Well, Jesus told you to. I don't know if I want to do that. Well, too bad.
You don't get to choose what your God says,
That's right.
unlike what you really think.
My boss said a weird thing today too. I think she was trying to be like cool, but it just seemed weird. Because something about one of her friends or somebody that she knows has got cancer that's close to her. Like she just found out. She was like, all of you God fearing and praying people, please pray for so and so. They've got cancer. And it's like, and I'm like looking around, it's like I'm the only like confirmed heathen in here. Like everyone else at the very least claims to be Christian in this building. Like I'm the only one. It just felt weird. I hope she was trying to be cool, but I
Or
don't know.
grasping at straws, just right.
Yeah. Everyone's gotten used to that though. And I mean most people were pretty cool with it. There were only Sarah and Heather were weird about me being a godless heathen, but
Of course, Sarah's weird.
everyone's kind of gotten used to it now. She still's like, "Well, you need Jesus." I'm like, "Well, you need to
Well,
be more tolerant of other cultures and people." but we can't always get what we want, do we?
See, I would say, well, I could use help moving the couch this weekend. Need to sweep back there. He could
Yeah.
just, reach under and hook his handholds on the legs and lift right up.
Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. Also, in other interactions that I've had with them, because I've said a couple of times, like, random stuff like God invented microwaves for a reason. And then they'll look at me and they'll be like, you don't believe in God? I'm like, no, but I grew up in a predominantly Christian culture. So, things like that kind of stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, you say like, oh, thank God. They're like, well, you don't believe in God?
Yeah, but I believe in Joe Pesci.
I do. I do. But I could say that and none of them would know what I was talking about. None of them. They're not George Carlin types, which is okay.
One visit with him and a baseball bat, and shit gets done.
Holy shit, I just realized it was 10:15. You want to actually start the show?
I guess we could start the show at this point.
All right. Well, there's some good Franken content for the week that I'm gone and won't be able to record. When I'm on my trip to Weedland.
Christmas week.
Let me pull up the calendar here. The week of December the 20th, 19th.
Okay.
How you read your calendar. So in 2 weeks.
I read it with my eyeballs.
Fuck off. Oh.
I'm not blind. I don't sit there and read it with my fingers.
I am blind. I finger my computer.
Well, I heard Tom Hanks likes to finger his typewriters.
Oh my.